in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 all boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Warning, this app will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Priced Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street legal cars come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
It's less than 1 month until the Guardians of Freedom Air Show comes to Lincoln's Air Park on August 26th and 27th. The show can't happen without the efforts of volunteers, and they need your help. This is a great opportunity to raise money for civic clubs, student organizations, club sports, and others who want to be close to the high-flying action. For more details on how to volunteer at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, visit LincolnAirShow.com.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power. My chicken condo
Chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415. We're online at ambitionelectric.com.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified Installers, and an insurance-preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to HandHroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys want a happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll go for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Friday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico with you as usual. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How was the day?
So far, so good.
Hanging in there?
Chilling.
I like the shirt. Shout out to the College World Series.
Always and forever. Men's College World Series.
That was such a fun time with Blur. They by the way, if you are going to the Blur event in Boulder, they sent the rendering of what like the layout's going to look like.
Is it completely different or close to what it looked like in Omaha?
Completely different.
Perfect.
But in a good way.
Granted, I won't be there, but perfect.
In a good way. It looks like it's going to be so fun. Highly recommend making your way out to Boulder if you are still thinking about it. If you're on the fence,
just go.
you're gonna have to probably pay, an arm and a leg for price or for tickets.
Sold out, technically.
Technically, it is sold out. By the way, did you see Minnesota is doing a gold out?
I did.
For Nebraska, Minnesota here in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Just so they can see exactly where the red is.
I do wonder how much like gold people own. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that,
is Minnesota going to do the thing that we've been telling Nebraska to do forever?
I hope not.
And put T-shirts out?
I hope not, because I don't want to be proud of Minnesota. I'll continue.
I don't know. What do you mean?
You
don't want to be proud about it? Look. Okay. Hold on. Let me think about how I'm going to say this for a second. I love Minnesota's color scheme.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I was just watching. I've been on a big kick of old Nebraska football games.
Okay,
and when I say old, I'm talking like 2007, 2008, even like mid 2010s,
like the 2007 season.
Yeah, so like even mid 2010s.
I was in 8th grade
when I was 6 years old that year.
Wow.
Either way,
you're welcome to everybody listening.
Yowzers.
Welcome to the happy hour. I hope you're still happy.
Yeah, here we are. But when in 2007, I was six and not 6th grade, 6 years old.
I was in 8th grade,
and Rico was in 8th grade. And that seems like Rico was old in that time.
It does.
Jeez Louise. Either way, we got a really good show for you. But as I was talking about, there's just a highlight of Kenny Bell posted as well.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And where I saw Minnesota's uniforms,
they're disgusting.
I think they are so ugly.
They're disgusting. They're
but
so
you
much
like
better.
their color scheme.
They're so much better now. I don't know why that maroon and gold just pops. It looks so good.
Nowadays it does.
Yeah,
because they put a little bit of a shine to it.
Oh, back then it was terrible.
Back then it looked really, really flat.
It looked like puke.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. But now, and look, we don't like PJ Fleck.
We do not.
But the Oars and Minnesota, it works. It
does.
Really does.
It does.
It really works.
And the whole like ski-u-ma thing.
I don't know what that
works
means.
Out. Yeah, it's it is what it is. We got a good show for you guys lined up today. A really exciting show. And if you are one of those that you see all these policies and you see all the news regarding NIL, you see it all being broke and talked about on various news channels and websites. Well, now, if you're like me, you're going to learn a lot today. At 1:30 today, we have 2 people from Opendorse going to be joining the show. One of them is Tucker McHugh. He's a campaign manager right now for Opendorse. And then the other one is going to be Braley Keller, who is kind of like the business and insights manager over at Opendorse as well. So 2 guys that know the ins and outs of NIL, and then also that can tell us, all right, what does it really mean if a state decides to legalize high schoolers and their NIL?
I feel like just tell us what the new ruling in Missouri means.
Bingo. Because Williams Nowerney decides to go to the home state school. And part of it is probably because he feels like he has a good fit there. We're not trying to discredit that.
I feel like he'd be a good fit anywhere, but
anywhere.
It makes sense.
But it does make sense. And obviously he's a guy from Lee Summit, Missouri. He's from the hometown school, right? But we all do know that NIL is playing a factor into it. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk collectives. We're going to talk funding. We're going to talk everything with these guys from Opendorse.
I feel like the main question that I have, the one that I really want to know, is how does it work when a business or a brand wants to connect with an athlete and they go to Opendorse? Yeah. Like how does that whole, I don't want to say middleman because I don't know if that would be insulting to them, but how does that whole thing work? When a brand wants to connect with an athlete, they go through Opendorse. What's the process like in getting that whole thing set up?
402-464-5685 is the phone number to call and text the entire show. If you guys have any questions for anybody, we can definitely relay those to the guys over at Opendorse who are going to be joining us here in just a few minutes. But you can also join us on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream. Highly recommend it. They're going to be joining us over video. So you're going to be able to see those 2 guys and hear from them, obviously. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951 are the places to go for that. So once again, 402-464-5685. Just going to be a real informative show. And as we've been kind of pitching and highlighting all day long. And for a good chunk of the week, we do have high school football tonight between Lincoln Northwest High School and Pius X. Kickoff 7 p.m. pregame show at 6:30. You'll hear from Lincoln Northwest head coach Brian Lauk as well during the pregame show, and myself and Jay Foreman will take things over. So shout out to all the sponsors. There's a lot of them, so I'm not going to read them all through right now, but shout out to all the support from the local community for their support and excitement regarding high school sports here in Lincoln. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Tucker McHugh, campaign manager for Opendorse, and Braley Keller, and business insights, business and insight manager as well, over at Opendorse, as we discuss the world of NIL. You won't want to miss it. Coming up next, folks are asking, the Royals are on. Yes, they are. They're playing the Cubs, but they should just be on the FM dial. So
I think we just fixed it.
Okay, cool. So I believe somebody said, people are asking about Royals on the stream. We are going to switch that over if we haven't already, and we'll be able to bring these to you on the app, on the Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter video streams, and all the platforms that we usually do when the Royals are on the FM dial, that is. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-8300.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at our back-to-school blowout. We're taking our better-than-internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale on this day, August 14th through 19th. The back-to-school blowout is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management, to small business, state, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential or electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and so stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. The team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-54-5695. Go to novotny.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
It's not often a man wakes up and feels the best I have in years. Smell. And it can happen to you when you go to Limitless Mail and get a blood test to see what your body is missing. That's how simple it is. Schedule a free consult with Limitless Mail. Discuss your symptoms. Do the blood test. If your lab results say you're low in testosterone, we can fix that. Age is just a number. You can feel your best again. Just ask Limitless Mail.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
America's been around since 1776. That's nothing. America's still just learning how to party. The Irish? The Irish have been doing it for thousands of years. Party the Irish way at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket. They've got your favorite Irish beers on tap, along with all the local and domestics. Plus great house cocktails, a huge selection of Irish whiskey, and the best Irish pub food in town. See the full menu and list of specials online at mckinneyspub.com, or just head down there. McKinney's Irish Pub at 7th and P in the Haymarket.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
A gorilla bear versus polar bear. A what bear versus a what bear?
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
A gorilla bear versus a polar bear. Polar bear. One more time. Gorilla versus a polar bear.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, the.com. Nick Sainert, as usual. You guys know how to get in touch with the show. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys the entire show today, as well as on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo. If you have Allo channel 951. This is going to be a real informative segment for a lot of people, me and Rico included in that, as we discuss all things NIL. We're going to be joined here in just a few seconds by Tucker McHugh, a campaign manager at Opendorse, and then Braley Keller, who is an NIL business and insights manager for the company as well. And without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Tucker and Braley. And now Tucker and I, we go back a few years now through slow pitch softball, some mutual friends. I have to shout out, Tucker recently just got engaged. So Tuck, I haven't been able to talk to you face to face. Big congrats on that, man. I'm super happy for you and Hannah.
Hey, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Shout out to Hannah. I'm sure she's listening. So we appreciate it a lot. And I was joking with Braley. This is actually my second time calling on the show. I had to call last fall to give Brian Buscini a shout out for pinning him deep a couple times last year. But you guys are awesome. Thanks for having us on.
All right, so once again, let's just start with this. We're trying to figure out some mic things. I think we should be okay now.
Yep, we're good. I messed up. That's on me.
That's all right. Braley, appreciate you joining us. You're calling from Georgia, correct?
Yeah, good old Augusta, Georgia. I'm a Nebraska native though, so my heart is right with you there in the great state of Nebraska.
Good stuff. All right, so Tuck, I'll go to you first, man. Just kind of talk about what you guys do for Opendorse. We'll start off with Tucker. I mean, what does a campaign manager really do?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be on here with Braley, two local guys who grew up around here, both played college sports and now work for Opendorse. We get to help athletes each and every day. But in my job as a campaign manager, I get to work directly with athletes, agents, brands, brands from local to regional to some of the biggest brands in the world. I saw a stat the other day that Opendorse had partnered with, over half of the top 50 Fortune 500 companies or something like that. So, it's my job, start to finish, from athlete research to pitching and creating deal briefs, just ideating what this campaign is going to look like for a brand's goals, pitching, getting a hold of athletes, contracting, negotiating, execution, content creation, some data analysis, figure out if this was successful and how we can tell that story. So those are all the main things that I'm fortunate enough to get to work on.
Go ahead, Braley. Tell us. I mean, Tucker was telling me during text messages and stuff that you're definitely a policy guy, like legality stuff. That's what you do, and that's what you know best. Kind of walk our listeners through what is an NIL business and insights manager.
Yeah, for sure. I would say my bread and butter comes on the rules side of things. So I definitely am tracking all the changes that are happening with the NCAA, with different state laws, talks about new NIL rules that could come from the federal level. So that's definitely a big part of my job in working with schools compliance officers like Nebraska's compliance department and Creighton's. But the other half of my job on the business insights part of it, there's so many people who want to know what's happening. This is described as more than $1 billion market, the NIL industry is. So a lot of my work on the insights part of it comes through providing reports, annual reports on where earnings are going, tracking where athletes are earning their money. It's coming through a lot of the work that Tucker's doing. So it's a blend of policy and the math side.
Now, guys, this might be kind of a weird question, but this comes from somebody who, and maybe it's from a lot of people who have this thought of, when NIL deals are being procured by these student athletes, that it just goes business to athlete, and then there's Opendorse right there. But I really want to know, where does Opendorse fit in the between a business or a brand that wants to do a deal with an athlete, and how does that whole thing come to fruition?
Yeah, absolutely. I can jump in here. Brands will kind of be at all different stages of the process when they come to us. Some brands know exactly what they want to do and who they want to reach out to. And, they just want to utilize Opendorse to make sure they do it compliantly and efficiently. And, some other brands will come in with a little bit less baked of a concept where, we spend time with them in strategy sessions and do athlete research. But no matter what stage of the process these brands are at, a third-party service provider like ourselves is really essential in helping to contract those athletes in a real easy way. In the new industry and digital age, it used to be a lot of fax machines and pieces of paper, and so to move quickly, you have to evolve. So we're happy to help with all of the sides of that.
Once again, we're sitting down with Tucker McHugh and Braley Keller, both of Opendorse. Both do a little different of things with Opendorse. Just kind of as we learn and continue, even though it's been legal for a few years now, or allowed, right? In collegiate athletics, we're just continuing to learn. How have you guys seen NIL really evolve throughout these last 2 years? Because it was kind of a foreign concept. Obviously, back in July of 2021 is I think when it started, and then now it's really taken off and becoming a pretty big discussion point in a lot of things, recruiting, in keeping rosters on team, or keeping players on your roster, re-recruit, like everything. You guys know it. So how have you seen just NIL evolve from your guys' perspective, who deals with it on a daily basis?
Yeah, absolutely. Braylen and I, we both remember, the days leading up to that, July 1st, 2021, as you mentioned. And, it kind of felt like Christmas morning almost. We were kind of counting the hours down. But, when that happened, it's like, okay, now this is legal and here's football season. So, I think everybody across the country was like, hey, we have to get a plan together. We have to show, progress, that we're doing something, because we need our student athletes, we need our recruits, we need our donors to know, that we're not going to sit by and, miss the bus. And so that was really year one, just figuring out, hey, what the heck is this thing? Year two, it was like, okay, it can't just be a check the box solution. We have to get strategic about this. I think brand deals went up 300% from, year one to year two. So although there were a ton of great press releases in year one, I think a lot of student athletes were starting to kind of ask, okay, when are the real dollars coming? When are we going to actually see all these deals? And so that, was year two, and we're excited to be in year three. But across the board, really, just everybody improving, everybody becoming more educated. I think across the board, a lot of universities and coaches and administrators, everybody is just trying to help these student athletes to, take advantage of this time they have in college and serve them the best they can.
Yeah, and Tuck, if I could jump in too, I think it's evolved these last 2.5 years now. There's been so much creativity that's come out. Maybe you saw the example from SOS Heating and Cooling earlier this week with the polar bear, Dakota's Crawford last year, right? There's a lot of creativity that's come into the space, and there was also an announcement. We might touch on collectives later, but there's entities called NIL collectives that didn't exist 2 years ago, and now there are an entire trade association that's being built out, and they've got folks advocating before Congress for changes on it. So it's hard to exactly quantify how much it has evolved, because we went from 0 to 100 real quick, and now there's 500,000 student athletes across the country that are eligible to make money off their name, image, and likeness.
That's such a large number, 500,000. Because I think until you hear statistics such as what you guys were, continue to tell us throughout this entire conversation, people don't realize the magnitude that it's being, used at right now and happening, but also what the potential is going forward. Okay, Braley, you talked about collectives. Let's dive deeper, because even at Nebraska, there's, for Husker fans, they hear about the 1890 initiative. They hear about these NIL collectives throughout the entire country and all that. But I think there's a lot of people that don't really know what they are or how they operate or any of the real minor details that are very important.
Yeah, for sure. And for any listeners that don't know what an NIL collective is, an NIL collective is an entity who's been created, and they have the sole purpose of creating NIL opportunities for student athletes at any given institution. Your 1890 is a perfect example. So if you're driving down Vine Street, the billboard on 48th and Vine, I believe they've been running some ads up there. There's TV commercials for it. There's even the announcement that you might have seen for Nebraska Crossing Outlets committing $5 million to Nebraska volleyball student athletes, right? There's a lot of work that they've done behind the scenes to help create these opportunities for athletes. And, I'm the son of a football coach, Brian Keller. He's the head football coach at Nebraska Wesleyan. And even in his case, NIL comes up in conversations. Recruits are curious about it. So you take that to a Power 5 level. NIL is talked about so frequently. So as a coach or as an institution, to be able to point to this entity and say, we have a collective that is dedicated to making the most out of your experience, making it easiest for you to maximize your NIL opportunities while you're here. I think it says a lot. So that's the importance. And if you're curious for numbers wise, 80% of all NIL compensation is coming from collectives. So they are power players without a doubt in this industry.
We're talking to Tucker McHugh, a campaign manager at Opendorse, and then Braley Keller as well, who's a NIL business and insights manager for the company. Now, I guess as you mentioned, Braley, just a second ago, like that conversation with recruits, it's present, right? And it's quite often that it happens, and that NIL is a discussion point. Which schools are doing well, right? In collectives, in support. How does the funding work? I mean, because these are all questions that not only you guys need to know, but also coaches. They need to be, active and present in these meetings where it's, hey, this is our situation right now that you can pitch to recruits.
Yeah. And Chuck, I'll kick it to you as far as when we get into the funding side of it, but just broadly, I won't give away any secrets about where schools rank on their
absolutely.
or anything like that. But
absolutely.
Leading the way right now, we've got Big 12, Big 10, SEC. They're all right up there. Nebraska is certainly in the mix among top schools and top performers. They're longtime partners of Opendorse, so I certainly think they've got a lot of help in their partnership there. But if you're talking about funding and what makes a collective successful, a $10 million budget is what will help a collective separate themselves from the pack at the Power 5 level. So it can come through a couple different ways. I'll talk to one side of funding, which is a lot like the fundraising that university athletic departments do and reaching out to donors and creating partnerships that way. But Tucker, you've had some experience more on that campaign side of it, where brands are starting to get involved in collective operations.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard the term like true NIL before, or like, oh, that's real NIL. And a lot of times I think they're referring to like commercial deals and things like that. But there's a lot of blends between that and the collectives. There's some variance in how collectives operate. A lot of them, though, are sourcing opportunities and, looking to secure deals, not only to compensate their student athletes, but to build their brand, because they want to see, my school's athletes are the ones working with these huge brands on TV or social media, or whatever it may be. Brayley mentioned 80% of compensation coming from those collectives. There's undeniably a strong tie between NIL activity and then the retention and recruitment of student athletes, and that's the lifeblood of a university's athletic program. So there's no doubt that these donor-backed organizations are a pivotal piece of NIL.
Tucker, Brayley, this is for both of you. I just want to know, back in 2021, this whole thing got started with NIL and student athletes and the universities and what have you. What have been some of the biggest changes, outside of, probably the collectives that you've seen from 2021 until right now?
Yeah, I can jump in if you'd want to. Like when we first started in 2021, like we had experience working with pro athletes in the endorsement space, so we were familiar, with working with agents. So we've seen more and more student athletes hire someone, maybe not always, a giant agent at a huge sports agency, but just someone who's looking out for their best interest and can help them with things when they're busy. But a lot of positive changes, just like I mentioned earlier, more education for student athletes, for coaches, for schools, student athletes, making sure to follow their NIL policy and keep themselves safe, because, eligibility is the most important thing ever. And, a lot just more openness to do deals, to go look at things proactively to build their brand. Don't want to speak for every student athlete, but I think a lot of people coming out of their shells and say, hey, I'm marketable. I have an interest in cooking or yoga or whatever it may be. What's out there that I could partner with?
Once again, we're joined by Tucker McHugh and Brayley Keller, both of Opendorse. A couple more for you guys before we got to get you guys out of here, as we're somewhat up against the clock. But Tuck, you mentioned classes and education for not only the athletes but also coaches. I mean, how often should this stuff and programs such as the educational side of it come into play? I mean, how often? Because this is a landscape that's always changing and always evolving, and there's always new things and stuff. It's how often should athletes and coaches be getting instructions on how to manage their NIL and their brand and this entire side of the world?
Yeah, absolutely. As often as humanly possible. So whatever you can do to educate yourself on how to do brand deals, financial management, taxes, professionalism, all these things, blend into the student athlete experience. And, like with a lot of things, what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. So that's kind of where these schools come in, and be remiss if I didn't, shout out Opendorse along the way. But like I've mentioned, these third-party service providers are a really big piece of this. And so, schools like Nebraska or whoever it may be who are, investing in those resources, it's all about being ROI positive and getting dollars in athletes' pockets. So however you can educate yourself, you'll never regret learning a little bit more.
If I could add on to that too, because I'm really passionate about the education side of it. I had gone down the math education route through undergrad. I thought I was going to be a high school math teacher for a while there. And there's something about talking about Pythagorean theorem at 8 a.m. that really fires people up, right? So there's concepts like this in taxes and other things that don't necessarily get 18 to 22-year-olds fired up. So when you get into the room and you start talking about NIL, then suddenly taxes become interesting. Business formation, starting an LLC sounds like a viable opportunity. And Bree Cassidy is a Nebraska alum, and she heads up our education department. And she does an incredible job of helping these athletes continue to not just learn the NCAA rules and learn what opportunities there could be in Nebraska, but helping them develop life skills. And on the flip side of it, for the folks that don't get that one-to-one education, you've got local business owners who are hearing from Trev Alberts and others from the institution that are promoting NIL as an opportunity to connect with athletes. And you've got Nick Maestas down the road doing deals through Muchachos and helping athletes get professionalism experience through that. So I'm fired up about that. And I don't think there's any limit to the amount of education that these athletes can receive.
Okay, Braley, this question is probably going to be for you because this is something that I struggle to kind of see the vision for. And it's not necessarily that that's a bad thing. I think continue with the education part of it. You have state legislatures, signing high school, deal or, bills or whatever, where high school students can now make NIL. And I think there's positives to that, but kind of just explain to listeners. Missouri just did one that I believe in August 28th is like the date that it starts. Right. And I guess just a blanket and general question, how is this happening? Like, what is going on? What does it mean for high school athletics in specific states where it is legal to make NIL money off of their name, image, and off of their brand as a high school athlete?
Yeah. I mean, a couple of things. Last year at this time, there were only 17 high school associations that allowed their athletes to do NIL. NSAA was one of them. Shout out NSAA. But now, today, there's 35 high school associations that allow it. So more than double the market at the high school level has grown. And what that means for those athletes in particular is they can go into college with upwards of 4 years of experience doing NIL deals, growing their brand so that when they start classes as a freshman, they've got some experience, an NIL resume, if you will, to point back to as far as deals that they've done in the past, success they've had, maybe even businesses they've launched. Caitlin Hanna was a women's golfer up at Westside, I believe, last year, and she created her own business. Malachi Coleman had those deals with Muchachos too, where he's raising money for foster care. So there's a lot of cool examples to point to. The way that this is happening at high school associations and why Missouri's is different than Nebraska's is each state is having their own miniature July 1. We talk about July 1 as the big date for the NCAA. That happened across the board, but each state is determining their own rules. And in Missouri's case, that was driven by legislature. And in Nebraska's case, it was the high school association that drove it. So there is some fragmenting across the board as far as states that are pushing it and others that haven't quite gotten there yet.
Once again, we're joined by Tucker McHugh and Braley Keller of Opendorse. All right, guys, couple more here. Appreciate you guys taking time out of the days to join us here on the show. Once again, if you have any questions for Tucker or Braley, go ahead and text them in 402-464-5685. Braley, it's funny that you mentioned that you were going to be a high school math teacher because about 5 or 6 minutes before you said that, we got a text on our text line that says, "Hey, I went to school with Braley and know that he graduated with a teaching degree. Can you ask him what led to him making a decision to change his career path?"
Man, what a great question. I don't know who you are, but thanks for the submission. For me, I was a dual sport athlete at Nebraska Westland. I played football for my dad and was swimming in the winter times. And I had a really fortunate opportunity to represent student athletes at my school and in my conference at the national level. So there's a lot of different committees in the NCAA, but one committee that I got to serve as a representative on was the Name, Image, Likeness Oversight Group. And this is 2018, 2019, and this is way before the rules actually came out, but I got to see behind the curtain a little bit. And it's, Indianapolis, it's not as scary as it sounds. The NCAA isn't this big power organization with a bunch of old people making rules. There's some structure to this. And I think for me, it was really eye-opening. I found myself very passionate about college sports. I had grown up by it. My mom's a swim coach by trade. My dad obviously coached football. So I think that part of it's always been there. And I started working with Opendorse in 2019 as well. So that's, it's been really fascinating to see the way that the journey for me professionally has gone. I'm fortunate that God's put me in this place to work at the company and just see this entire industry evolve the way it has in the last 4 years. So that's a little bit about it.
All right. So Tucker, I guess this one would be for you since you are technically in Nebraska, and Braley, feel free to hop in, obviously. I guess what kind of value does it bring to Nebraska specifically having Opendorse a block away, and having it founded by two former Husker football players in Blake Lawrence and Adi. How much more value does that give a University of Nebraska that you guys are in person? I mean, granted, in this world of Zoom and look at how we're talking right now, right? But in this world of video streams and Zooms and stuff, where's the extra value in it for like a University of Nebraska where you guys in your building is a block away?
Yeah, absolutely. I started working here right after college in 2019. And at that time, much like the rest of the world, we were all still in person. So when we all went remote, teammates of mine, Seattle and Utah and New York. And so we're all over the place, but it still always just feels nice to have home base and HQ be right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I still come into the office because there's a lot of free snacks and coffee and stuff like that. So I love it. But no, it's very valuable. I'm amazed, like in the virtual world, how we can reach out to each other and connect to each other all across the country. But you're right. If a Nebraska athlete wanted to come over and with a question and knock, they can come right in. All student athletes are always welcome. Gabe Irvin stopped by the other day and signed a magazine for an NIL deal. So that was awesome. But, really the advantage is for all schools who have Opendorse. I mentioned being ROI positive. So, if you partner with a third party, a service party, ROI positive would mean that your student athletes, make more money than what you pay to that service provider. And so I can say, for Opendorse and all those partnerships, that is the case. And that's the case for Nebraska.
All right, guys, next one or last one for both of you. And Tucker, I'll just let you go first, man, and then Braley can wrap us up. What's next? Because I think if you ask a lot of people that maybe still are getting used to this NIL thing, they'll talk to you when maybe they're uneducated and be like, oh, this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. We got to get a hold on it. It's
too crazy.
And I'm sure you guys have heard those remarks, and you guys are in it. And so what's next? What's the next step for NIL? How can it continue to evolve in the positive way, I suppose?
Yeah, absolutely. Just always go back to education. It's not going away, I don't believe. And we say all these crazy things that it's kind of like the shock factor in the billion-dollar industry, or this much money comes. And so I think, what's next is hopefully just more collaboration between collectives, brands, sponsors, fans, all these places that the money can come from. And, there's a lot of stories out there. Just like with any industry, there's bad actors, but there's a lot of amazing stories as well. Student athletes, using this money to help themselves, their families, to change their lives, to help their teammates. We do a yearly white paper where we interview athletes and we talk about their experiences. And we heard a lot about, the seniors on our team are awesome about helping the freshmen and understand how to do this and who to reach out to. So I think the future holds a lot of culture builders, which maybe isn't always the case in what you hear out there.
Yeah. Going off what Tuck said, I don't have a crystal ball, but this is a little bit of my job too, in terms of forecasting where things might be going. And to be clear to listeners, NIL is not going away. And there's conversations about, athletes becoming employees or revenue sharing with broadcasting. And that's, all interesting, could be happening soon. But even looking at the professional model, Patrick Mahomes makes $50 million a year, but you still see him on ads for State Farm, right? So there's NIL and endorsement opportunities will continue for collegiate athletes there. I think I referenced earlier, Congress and potentially some federal oversight. I would keep your eyes on October. It's maybe a time for something to happen there. The NCAA has been getting pressure to make some more rules. So there could be more regulation coming in about 2 months. But overall, conference realignment is probably what you've been talking about for weeks. All of this change that's been happening in the Pac-12, Big Ten's getting a couple new friends coming to the conference next year. And all of those changes were driven by athlete media. They just took the form of broadcasting revenue. Athlete media also includes NIL. So I don't think there's a time when athlete media has ever been as valuable as it is right now. So that's NIL included, period. So I'm optimistic for the future. I think this is such an ever-changing model, but it's one that's fascinating to keep up with. And I'm glad that you brought us on today to talk about it a little bit.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Once again, this was definitely informative on just how what the status of the NIL world is right now.
I feel like I learned more in these 30 minutes than I have in the last 3 years.
I got to apologize because in our group text, I can't remember if it was in our group text or with just Tuck. I said, yeah, I'll be about 20 minutes long and stuff. I apologize. I kept you guys a little bit longer. So I hope it's all good there. But Tucker McHugh and Braley Keller, guys, appreciate it a ton, and we'll definitely have you guys on again down the road, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having us, guys. We love it. And Nick, hope to see you on a softball field or a golf course or something soon, but appreciate it, guys.
You know where to find me, man. Braley, have a great time in Augusta. I'm sure, Masters season is probably pretty electric down there.
Yeah. It lowers my score a couple strokes just living down here. So you come on down to a little round in.
Perfect. All right. So once again, appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon. All right. So that's Tucker McHugh and Braley Keller, once again, of Opendorse. Tucker, a campaign manager, and Braley, an NIL business and insights manager for the folks over at Opendorse. Real informative interview there with just the nature and the status of NIL and how it still is positive, and that although a lot of people might think it's getting out of hand, here we are. It's, as Braley said, it's not going away. So once again, appreciate those two guys for hanging out with us. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll bring in Strick and Austin for the crossover and get you ready for On the Block on a Friday right here on The Ticket.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
If you have concerns about your drinking water, just call Bryant. If your water doesn't look right, smell right, or taste right, Bryant can help. If your water has high levels of iron, Bryant can help. If you're tired of foggy dishes and dingy clothes, Bryant can help. Whatever your home water needs are, Bryant is here with a solution to fit your needs. Be sure about your water. Just call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Keep summer green with Judson Bylene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainer.
Herbie the Fourth ate his first solid food today, prompting a response of nothing but steaks all week for the Nebraska offensive line.
Then Enrique Alvarez Clary.
No more peaches and carrots for Herbie the Seventh. Baby food be damned.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Once
We
again,
have a problem.
Hold on, Rico.
No.
Rico, we didn't say thank you.
No.
Once again, want to thank Tucker McHugh and Braley Keller of Opendorse for hanging out with us over the stream. If you missed any of that, you can check it out on the podcast page here in a very short while, just on the NIL world. All right, Rico's mad.
We have a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. So Megan Walker is here with us again. And she's been going around. She got this little microphone she plugs into her phone, and she's been going around asking people around the office, who's your least favorite coworker? And I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 98% sure that 7 people have said me. What did I do? What did I do?
402-464-5685. If you agree,
Who is your least favorite on air personality?
See, now we go down a rabbit hole here because the people come out and let us know if they don't like you.
Oh yeah, they'll tell you.
They'll tell us.
I want you guys to be honest, but right now I think it's like 7 people have said I'm their least favorite coworker. I don't know what's going on. I thought I don't think that everybody loved me, but I thought I was at least kind of liked. Apparently, I was wrong.
It's not that you are not liked.
It's that I'm just disliked.
You're the least liked.
How?
See, it's not that you're disliked. It's not that we hate you.
I cover shows. I'm a nice person.
What shows are you covering? Oh, Captain, probably a little bit.
I cover the Captain. I've helped out on the block. I've helped out on old school. Very seldom. Very seldom. How many times are you gone where I got to take over the show that you're supposed to be on?
I was a college student.
That part.
Don't.
Once again, it's
Mr. I gotta go on a cruise for a week.
That wasn't me.
Hold on. I got this. Mr. Mr. Oh, I got a dentist appointment. I got a mouth procedure. Mr. Like,
don't forget that wasn't on Stricky. That wasn't on Stricky. Remember when Strick, though, and this was prior to Austin, he joined from a boat?
Yeah.
And there was just a little
little
window.
porthole. We just see the porthole, and it's just the waves going by.
But I come
through. You joined, yes,
I
you
came
did. Join.
in. I don't try
The
to.
Wi-Fi was a little spotty.
It was spotty, but I
Mr.
jumped
Where in the world is Eric Strickland today?
What is that show?
We used to.
Where in the world is
to-
Carmen Santiago?
Carmen Sandiego.
Well, we used to play that game with Jay.
Yeah.
I was like, where is Jay? And then
Now it's
like,
where's Strick.
Now it's where's Strick.
No, that's my clone.
It's not your
The
clone.
alter ego.
Well, then why aren't you here?
Because my clone is sleeping.
So you got to take care of where your clone's supposed to be.
Right.
Anyway,
It's fine. I guess
Rico-
people don't like whatever.
Rico,
clone-
once
the clone-
again-
the
I'm fine.
clone hits
You
the-
see what you
he-
started,
he'll-
Megan?
he'll hit
You
the
see what you did?
Once again, Rico, it's not that people dislike you.
It's that people dislike me more than everyone else.
No. Instead of saying that, just say it's
No, there's
they
no-
like
it's-
you the least.
Out of everybody else,
It's all about phrasing. It's all about
Yeah.
phrasing and how you phrase it.
whatever, man.
Maybe I'm one of those people where if I don't give you crap, that means I don't like you. Never thought about that?
I give everyone crap. That means I like
There
everybody.
you go. Now you understand.
Now you understand why you're the
favorite.
least.
That's my love.
liked.
It's my love
Least liked.
language.
I said least favorite.
Least liked.
That's
Yeah.
my love language.
Oh, okay.
I've explained that to all of you.
All right, cool.
He just tried to.
Still, here we are, all
Whatever.
voting him as
He
the
just
least
tried to
liked.
steal on me sitting down in the chair.
I know,
So
I
I'm
know.
supposed to say,
Yeah,
what am
I know.
supposed to say?
I know.
You were talking trash.
All right,
I
gents.
stood up for me and Nick walks away while I'm getting manhandled. Nick's just like, well, that sucks.
I came back here. All right, what's coming up on the show today, gentlemen?
What is coming up on the show today? My computer's behind me. We will.
We're gonna talk about the top 25.
Yes.
We're gonna
Risers
talk-
and fallers in the
risers
Big
and
Ten.
fallers. And we're going to talk about the NBA and who's next as far as getting the big bag.
Awesome.
Because as you look down in 224, there's some guys there, but then there's some guys that are kind of on the fringe, and then there's some guys that already hit their little, mini maxes and extension maxes, so forth. And so,
I also didn't realize there was a documentary coming out about Florida under Urban. So instead of talking about that documentary and that team, we're going to go into who do we need one on next?
Yeah. It's got to be the 95 Huskers.
I would think
That's what everybody says. I feel like it's never happening.
It's not. It was supposed to happen.
think it
Remember?
should happen.
And then
ESPN 30 for 30.
Then
and
they
then
scrapped
they
it.
Then they
for
bailed.
whatever reason. Like they were going through it. They were going through it. And they're like, "Whoa, wait a minute, we didn't know this."
It was
Like,
the Nebraska Illuminati came in and shut it down.
They were like, "Okay, never mind, we're not doing this." I'm excited to see because that Florida team. You got Urban Meyer, you got Tim Tebow, you got Aaron Hernandez,
Chris Leak,
you got the Pounceys, you got the wide receiver
Percy
for the
Harvin.
Eagles. Well, you got Percy, but who's the Eagles wide receiver? What was it? Cooper? Not Cooper.
It wasn't Deshaun.
No, it was one that got in trouble at the country concert
I don't know, man.
for
That was
yelling a
throwing me.
slur.
I'm not sure.
That was throwing me.
The
Yeah.
text line knows.
Yeah.
They had a lot of characters on that team.
Plenty.
Let's just say that.
By the way, hey, what's it called? The Royals are up 1-0 on the Cubs right now.
Yeah, Cubs had a walk and a single in the first, but Cole Reagans did his thing, shut it
How
down.
about that? All
Nelson
right.
Velasquez about to go deep again.
I'm sure he will. That's all right. That'll do it for us, though, here on the Happy Hour. Once again, thanks to Tucker, McHugh, and Braley Keller for joining us from Opendorse. Stuff Cooper.
Yes.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
it, right.
Shout out to Big Bird. Shout out to Big Bird on the text line. Once again, that'll do it for us. And since this will be my last time on the air until 6:30 p.m. tonight, join us for high school football. Lincoln Northwest and Pius X tonight. Pregame starts at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7. Myself and Jay Foreman taking you through your Friday night from UBT Stadium. So make sure you stick around for that. Don't go anywhere. On the block with Strick and Austin coming up next. Rico and I will talk to you on the Happy Hour on
least favorite
Monday.
Adios.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer sales event continues in August, and the incentives are crazy good. Check this out. We got 0.9% financing along with a $2,500 trade-in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM-certified used inventory is filling up fast, so make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
The Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, Nebraska National Guard, 55th Wing, and the Lincoln Airport Authority presents the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, featuring the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, the F-16 Viper demo team, F-35, and the Air Force Wings of Blue. Experience a spectacle that your family will remember forever. The Guardians of Freedom Air Show, Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th at Lincoln Air Park. Parking and admission are free. Learn more at LincolnAirShow.com.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town, the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for open house all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to skilled team will have you back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti freeway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Trail, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Cars, and they are fun cars, and these cars come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing. 6701 Cornhusker. Now it's time to stop it. GE Landscape Supply and with that materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy any from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call